Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about
2022's Smile, directed by Parker Finn.
This is a phenomenally good movie.
Yes, it is.
That we actually, I think we saw this one in theater together too.
We did.
We're back-to-back theater together movies. Before we get into the episode, what would we like to let anyone new to the channel know?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty please.
You can also find us on Spotify, Apple, Google,
and
Anchor. Also on Instagram, J Squared Horror Podcast, link tree in the bio, and new episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday. Whoa. Two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and talk all things horror. And by all things horror, we mean anything and everything that has to do with scary stuff. We try to open up a line of communication between us and our fans and our fans and random people. And honestly, in the world today, we hope to just distract you for 45 minutes to an hour and bring some enjoyment to your day.
Yeah.
Smile is every time. It's a scary movie. Like it definitely gives you the icky feeling.
It does.
Like ugh.
So from the trailer, I was like, yeah, this will be good, I feel like.
So
but actually watching it,
yeah,
it's better than I thought it would be.
it was crazy though because I can't remember. I was dropping somebody off at an airport, and I was at the Starbucks at our airport, and because I wasn't allowed back. I think it was my nephew. He was getting going to his dad's house for the summer or something, and this guy had noticed. I think I was wearing this hoodie, a gray hoodie, and he was like, "Oh man, are you into horror movies?" And I was like,
Hate them.
Little do you know, buddy. Whip out my business card because I used to have them on me all the time. And so I'm waiting on my drink, and he's like, "Dude, have you seen this trailer for this movie called Smile?" And I was like, "I have no clue what you're talking about, bro." And then he shows me, and it has that whole head swinging in the window thing, and I was like, oh, he's like showing it to me over the counter, and I was like, "Dude, that looks intense." And this was months and months and months before this movie came out. So I had a lot of anticipation for this movie. And then you get to watch it. I've seen it a bunch. I think I've seen it like 4 times. Really? Yeah.
I've only seen it 2 times.
Yeah, no, it's definitely up there. Do you have this movie it's very based around a lot of psychology, brain stuff. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the means. I mean, I know mine's messed up, but other than that, and you have the lady in the beginning when that original unaliving happens, and it's just like the pacing, the acting, all that's really really good, but the intensity is like dialed all the way up in this movie for like the entire thing.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned, the fact that it is constant.
It's constant.
There's no real super dull moments.
You don't get to take a breath.
Yeah, it's constantly going.
Yeah.
I liked in that opening scene where she's talking to the doctor, and you can tell the doctor's like, "Yeah, okay, I've seen this before."
Yeah,
she's talking to him, "I'm not on drugs or anything. I'm not crazy."
Yeah, she's like, "I have like a 4-point-something GPA or something."
This is what's happening. This is what I'm saying, but you're not listening to me, which happens a lot. I feel like.
Yeah.
In real life and in movies.
Yeah.
People, if it seems like too unrealistic, nah, that's not true.
Yeah, you're on crack.
Yeah. Just like in Barbarian. Same thing. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. You come in looking a little grungy and people are going to start, you're immediately a drug addict. And then, oh my God, just, I can't get over the fact that the intensity, there's a lot of good movies out there. And I mentioned it at the end of our Barbarian episode, how I was kind of at a toss up between which one was my favorite or not. Rewatching this one, I once again can't decide because this movie kind of did something else. Obviously, it has elements of horror that have been used for years.
Yeah.
But the presentation and the overall product of what you get was completely different, even though it had very similar vibes. Like we had mentioned on another episode how it's a lot like It Follows in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's like an unknown, almost like demon, an unseen demon until a certain point in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And the one thing that I was rewatching it now, I was like, oh, is this, because we've started talking a lot about movies wasting time and the pacing. I keep using the same words, but it even though you have to learn a lot, kind of like in It Follows, in these types of movies, you really can't get away from that because it's not a being chasing you. It's not like a person.
Yeah.
I feel like in monster movies, you don't necessarily need as much of a backstory, but in these style of movies, when it's a lot of psychological and a lot of like demon based, you almost need to go back and figure out like what's going on. Why is this happening?
And what I like about that is, just like It Follows, it doesn't feel super slow.
Mm-mm.
Because it deals with some of the psychological things.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a character or that character is in a scene, something could happen.
Yeah, you're like constantly kind of worried about it.
And it usually does happen.
Yeah. And one of the scariest parts of this movie comes after she watches that unaliving in her room, is when she's at the house trying to have, a nice glass of wine.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. And, obviously, luckily, I have not witnessed something that crazy before in my life. But I can just speak on behalf of watching some wild movies. You know what I mean? Like, you could watch something crazy on film, and then when you get home, kind of, want to keep all your lights on and want to look around.
Yeah.
But then you see her, like the patient, and she drops the glass, and it's like, dude, this, everything they did, the jump scares, and I heard a lot of people saying that they were like corny or predictable, and I don't agree.
I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Because she looks off, and she looks over to that corner. She's just standing there.
Yeah.
And in my mind, even if she had hit the lights on,
oh, it would have been like even more visible.
It still would have been there.
Yeah.
As you see earlier in the movie, once it takes someone's form, they're there.
Yeah.
It's not like just in your head kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the then you get to meet the husband, and you're starting to get a little bit of that dynamic, and all of it plays into it because she's coming across as she's finally, she worked too much. She's been working 60, 70, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
And dealing with a lot of different people and blah, blah, blah. So nobody's really giving her the time of day to be, like, freaked out.
Yeah, which is weird because from her coworker standpoint, it's just, you work too much.
Yeah.
But her fiance sees it as, well, these psychological issues running your family.
Yeah, he should not have brought that up.
No.
He did not read that room.
At all. Not at all.
And, I just, you feel terrible for her this entire movie because she's just trying to get, like, through.
Yeah.
Like, she's not, like, fixated on it. It's not like she wants to be thinking about it, but you find out that it just starts to consume your mind.
Yeah.
And then you get the cat.
Yeah.
Dude, what in the hell? That was crazy.
It was very intense. Now, that's the only thing I can say I saw it coming.
You saw, once the cat was missing.
Exactly.
And then they're like focusing on the gift. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That cat is in that box. Yeah. And it's crazy because she goes to her nephew's birthday and she went and what we thought, she picked out a choo-choo train for him. We saw her go to the store and pick out said choo-choo train. But like we just said, you're sitting there watching it and you're now putting the pieces together. You're like, cat's missing. She's kind of seeming crazy. Everybody's watching this kid open the box and it's fucking.
Yeah, it's going to be the cat.
It's a dead cat.
But it plays out like it could be just, at first, cat, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But is she just seeing that and she's actually just the train? No, it's the fucking cat for real.
It's the cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't envision it and freak out, and everybody's like, dude, what? It's a train.
Yeah.
Did you forget it was a train? No.
Everyone's in panic.
Everybody's in panic. And then she's, like, freaking out on what she's seeing, the person, and nobody else knows what's going on. And that's what causes this just, like, high anxiety throughout this entire movie. And for a movie being based on some mental stuff, it's putting you through some stuff.
Yeah, 'cause in that moment, you see her first thought is the cat in the box.
Yeah.
And then she starts to notice how everyone's looking at her.
Uh-huh.
So it goes from she's trying to defend herself, saying, I didn't mean to put that cat in the box. I don't know how I even got there.
Yeah.
Then it goes into, I'm not fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I know it looks like I am.
Yeah.
But if you listen to what I got to say, which goes back into the patient you saw earlier.
Yeah.
The exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it makes me think, because you learn early on that every person goes through this when they see someone unalive themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a constant feeling of that no one believes you.
Yeah. Why won't anybody just listen to what I'm saying?
You don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
You can't trust your eyes anymore or your own mind.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
And it's crazy to think about, because even if you just simplify that down of, like, just being like a depressed person.
Yeah.
Like, take that completely out of the movie and say you're just, like, existing in, like, a sad, like, because you always hear, like, you know, the funniest people are usually the saddest, or, you know, Robin Williams, things like that. Like, people you would never in a million years expect. But, you know, if you pay attention, sometimes there are those cries for help where you're just like, yo, shut up. Like, if somebody comes home and they're complaining about a bad day at work, maybe listen.
Yeah.
For 5 seconds longer.
Yeah.
Not just say, oh, wow, you don't think I did? Or something like that. Because this movie makes a lot of parallels like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, she's fucking possessed, but if you take it out into the real world, maybe just, like, listen to a friend or a family member a little bit longer.
Yeah. If someone had took the time to, which her ex-boyfriend, the cop?
The cop, yeah.
Does.
Yeah, yeah.
He listens to her. He looks into it.
Yep.
He definitely seemed to get it at first, but he still
he doesn't judge right out the gate.
He buys into it.
So what that told me is he actually knew her, as a person.
Her
whereas
fiance didn't.
The sister, the fiance, the other people, like her boss,
didn't know her.
Nobody really knew her.
Yeah,
at who she is as a person, which is also why you should surround yourself by people like a best friend
I
or
agree.
whoever you have, because at times you will sound freaking crazy when you're dealing with stuff. And it was an interesting way for them to add that, because you pick up on, like, some weird chemistry when you first see, because he's the cop on scene, and I'm like, what? How did they? Maybe they went to school together. And you find out that they were old pillow pals.
Either neighbors or
was he in there one day? Trying to figure that dynamic out. But yeah, I like that you brought him up, because he's my favorite character in this movie.
Really?
By far. Okay. Yeah. I love his character. Kind of like how I related with Keith in Barbarian.
Uh-huh.
I can also see myself being there for somebody, regardless of our history, in a time of need.
Yeah. I mean, I can also see that as well.
Yeah.
Just because it's someone you care about.
Especially if I'm a cop. I have the ability to help.
Yeah. It's also my job to help.
It's kind of my job. Yeah.
If I don't want to, I still will.
Yeah, fine. And when she's going through it, because she starts doing the research, right?
Yeah.
Before she goes to his apartment, because that's what she goes to the apartment with,
and she brings it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're getting this research and you're starting to realize that, oh, okay, anybody that has witnessed an unaliving then unalives, and it's just a train, and it's been going on for what we heard was, like, I think it was like 3 stories.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
3 or 4 stories.
But it made me think of the ring, because it's within like 7 days.
Yeah, it's usually within like 7 or
within a week
days.
you're dead.
Yeah, within a certain amount of time. So like I said, this movie does use a lot of things that have happened in other horror films.
Yeah.
So, like, as much as I wanted to say, like, it felt like a completely original story, it kind of goes to how me and Jake always go back and forth on there's no originality.
Yeah.
It's just the presentation of those things.
It just took many different things and made it, in a way, feel original, at least.
Yeah. And I really think that obviously, like, you say The Ring, that's like some video you watch. Like, this creature comes crawling at it. Like, okay, that's fine.
It's seeing something in 7 days
And like we were just ironically watching.
We were, yeah.
Yeah, ironically watching some YouTube guy we like, and he was talking about how like the original one was so much better because it was a VHS tape, and that kind of made sense with it being cursed, like cursed film. It's like something you can actually like hold, and then like it would obviously lose like a fear value if it was like a downloadable file, like in the third one. So the thing that I think is interesting about this is so they use those same elements, but it's the trauma of witnessing that gives you the possession, which I don't think has been done.
And just that concept of it, I think it also would depend on the kind of person that you are.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person that shit doesn't faze you, you could see it and all right, whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't latch on to you.
Yeah, because they say it needs like that.
Yeah.
That like down.
Yeah.
Because it feeds off of that. It uses your fears or like your backstory against you.
If you came from like a perfect background.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy that you saw it, but your next day you're pressed out thinking about it.
I would be screwed if this thing
I think most people would be.
Yeah. Not a lot of people don't have some trauma sprinkled in their lives.
And I think what I enjoyed was the concept of, okay, you see it.
Yeah.
But if you kill someone else,
you're
good.
Yeah. So
which I think then would then put that kind of trauma and constant thought on you all the time.
So, all right, with that being said,
it remember like Final Destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think you would do after finding out? So I'll circle back real quick. You find out because the cop digs back even further and realizes that one person has broken the chain. Yeah. So like he said, very Final Destination-esque, which, like I said, this movie has a lot of elements of other movies. And you realize it as you're talking about it, like how many different movies. So they go and drive to this guy that's in jail for killing somebody, and he's the only one that broke the chain. So that's how you find out that it's either unaliving yourself in front of somebody or hurting someone else. And that's how he broke the chain. So with that being said, knowing this information, somebody opens my door right now, does it, and then we both have what are you doing? Yeah. Like which way are you going?
I think realistically, I would try to figure out what I can. I don't think I could take someone else's life just to save my own. In that circumstance.
Yeah.
Could you?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. As much as I would like to say, of course not, Jake. It depends on the day. I'm just having a real rough week. I might just, go on out. If my life is going well, and like, what if
I guess I could send someone on a test drive and cut their brakes before they go.
That's what I'm saying. Like you, maybe that box of coffee I delivered isn't completely clean. It's like, what if I drop it on someone's head on accident? Oh, it's an accident, but a bunch of people are gonna see it, which is all you need.
True, that's like a mass group of people.
Yeah,
you're set for life.
I'm good, dude. That thing's gone across the board. So there's my answer.
Well, there you go.
But no, I mean, I think, as much as I would joke around and say that, I think I'd obviously go with the only person that's really being affected by it's myself. So
yeah, so we got to figure out some kind of way.
Yeah, and I'll be like, watch, smile. You'll understand why I did this. That would be my note. I didn't do this because of the reasons you guys think.
Watch this movie.
Watch this movie. It'll explain it all. And then, what did you think about like that crazy scene where she goes back to the hospital to try to do what we were just talking about? And like that whole interaction.
Yeah.
Like that is so, once again, just intense.
It is very intense.
She has a knife. She has a plan. She knows exactly who she's going to do.
Yeah. When, I'm going to call him Kumar, but when her boss.
Yep. Kumar.
peels the skin off his face?
Bro, that's so wild.
What kind of fucking dreams are you having?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of this movie, which there's other paranormal movies where this happens, but Once again, I just feel like they did a really good job in this one. Like we talked about with the cat. Did that really happen? Was it that? And then now we have this scene where I thought that happened.
Yeah, until you start laughing.
And then he starts laughing,
like,
and then
whoa.
The Boss Kumar comes in and does
Boss
what he
Kumar.
does. Yeah, Boss Kumar. And does what he does, and then she obviously wakes up with him knocking on the window outside. Like she never went inside of the hospital.
Yeah. But I think the scene that got me was she was in the house.
Yeah.
And the security alarm was going off.
Yeah.
And she called the people.
Oh, yeah.
And the person on the other line said, I'm right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That scene got me.
Oh, okay.
So it was, you see her standing there, and she's like trying to not turn around.
Oh, yeah. That's that fight of like, I know something's going to be behind me, but I have to look. But
then, again, when she calls back again, it's the same voice again.
It's the same voice again, but it's the actual.
I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
Do I hang up?
What do I do here?
What do I do? Do I say I'm behind you this time?
I'm behind you. And they're like,
what the fuck you talking about?
Your back door's open, sir.
Okay.
Go close it. And then you have, so obviously this movie's very psychologically based, and she's a therapist, but she also has a therapist that she goes to, and they're just trying to basically be like, hey, you need to take some time off. Like, you're dealing with stresses, and then obviously we find out with the conversation with her husband that she has past trauma that she's dealing with as well.
Uh-huh.
And you meet the therapist character, which is going to come into what I wanted to also mention is one of the other scary, just freaky scenes that they decided to do. So she's at the house, and she's like, she has all of her files out and stuff, and then she sees her therapist come up to the house, like for a house call, which I think is a thing. Like if you're really worried about your patient, you can just pop on by.
Call,
yeah. And so you're like, okay, and they're like sitting there, and you feel this tension because it's like, it's almost like therapist versus therapist, and it's really interesting to see.
They're like battling.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm happy I didn't say that. It's just a battle. And then like you start noticing that it's not the therapist. Does the phone ring? Like what does it? I'm drawing a freaking blank.
So for me, I thought it was just the therapist.
Yeah, but what tells us it isn't?
The phone rings.
Her phone
and
rings.
She picks it up.
And it's her.
And it's her therapist.
Yeah.
And then as she's talking to her, and she looks over at her,
I got goosebumps.
You see her start to smile.
Smile, yeah. And obviously, with this movie being called Smile, you see a lot of smiling in this movie. I can't mimic that smile. I wanted to do that at the beginning of the episode.
I thought once the same thing all the way over here.
Yeah, but I can't do it.
You could use like a filter or something, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I can't. I've tried to be like creepy and smile, and I just look like a weird dude smiling, not like the movie.
That reminds me of, I guess, the stuff they were doing leading up to the movie.
Yeah, dude, this was one of the best promoted movies of 2022.
Promotions, that's the word, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the best promoted, because you'd be watching a baseball game, and someone would be standing up behind home plate just smiling.
Yeah.
With a Smile t-shirt on. And that's really good advertising, because it was creepy. Like, the announcers were talking about it.
Yeah.
And guess what? The Smile production company wasn't paying the announcers to say anything. They were just creeping people out.
They just like, what the
And it was like the red balloons when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
Like around drains and stuff. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I love when people are that excited about their project that they're going to put that much behind it to get people in the seats because they know they have something good.
Yeah.
And obviously the examples I have right now are Smile and It, which were both phenomenal films.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the therapist starts like walking and like talking like a demon thing. And it's like walking over the furniture and stuff, then gets real close to her and starts drooling and stuff.
But what got me was as she's walking towards her, how loud her footsteps were.
Doom, doom.
Yeah.
Oh man, it made you so uncomfy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And just the drool.
Oh yeah, it was gross. It was like
it was
Alien, you know?
Yeah,
it was. Look, hey, another movie.
How many movies are in this movie?
You know, we should when we listen to this, we should write it down and be like, holy shit, I didn't even realize this. They're like, they might not have even intended in it, but for two guys that have watched horror movies their entire lives.
Yeah, because that exact scene is Aliens.
It's Aliens.
Yeah, the exact same thing.
It's legitimately when that little thing comes out.
Yeah.
It's just
and the smile makes you think of Truth or Dare.
Yeah. Then you know, obviously it follows. You
this is
Final Destination.
already about 7 movies already.
Yeah. the most I've ever thought about in one particular horror movie.
Me as well.
Yeah. Then that therapist scene was intense, and that's when you realize like it can be anyone. It doesn't matter like who is who, what is what. Like, why is this movie confusing me this much? You can't trust anything or anybody because they even warn you because she goes to see the widow of the professor that killed himself in front of the girl that we met at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And she's explaining the things that he was saying and the things that he was doing. And then when she did her research, so it's like all happening in the same exact line.
Yeah.
And you're just like, damn, dude, like what's going to happen? And then she has what I think is a pretty good plan. I'm not going to kill anybody and I'm not going to let anybody see me unalive myself. So I'm going to run away to where nobody's going to be. But
So
she tries.
That only works if you're the kind of person who, one, normally cares about you that much.
Yeah.
But to the fact that her ex-boyfriend was a police officer.
Yeah, but
he was
also
going to find her at some point.
She went to her sister in a time of need and tried to talk to her.
Yeah, wasn't having it.
And the sister's like, get out of my house. You brought a dead cat to my son's birthday, which
I get.
Honestly, can't be that mad at the sister.
Yeah, you brought a dead cat here.
You did bring a dead cat to like an 8-year-old's birthday party. My sister would be pissed if I did that to my nephew.
And then just watching when they're like, damn.
They're like watching her out of the window.
Yeah.
And then you get the scene that we talked about in the trailer.
Yeah.
Where you think the sister's running out to talk to her and her fucking head swings.
I love that she knocks first.
Yeah. It's tick, tick,
hey,
tick.
look.
it's terrifying. And luckily I saw it in the preview, so like I knew,
you knew
it was coming.
Yeah.
But even when you watched it on the trailer, you knew it was freaky, as that's why they put it in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then she has that plan, but like you said, when you're doing a master plan, I think you need to think about all possible possibilities. Because like he said, if your ex, who's obviously still very connected to you, knows everything that you're going through, knows you better than you probably know you, knows where you're going to go if you're trying to get away from everyone. And it's the house where she...
Yeah. So my fair character was also that guy because of comparing him to the fiance.
Yeah, yeah. Because he was just quick to be like, you're crazy like your mother.
Yeah, but he knows her. So I'm assuming he knows the mother thing too.
Had to have.
He doesn't bring it up.
Mm-mm.
He just tries to help her.
Yep.
That's why he knew that's where she would be.
Yeah. I mean, you should never use past stuff against people.
No, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Because they're sharing, they're sharing that for a reason.
Yeah, if they're opening up to you and really confiding in you, you should literally never use that against somebody.
No, you shouldn't.
And that's what's that. We always say that horror movies, try to find, like we said in Barbarian, where it's an Airbnb. Mental health is a big thing that is talked about way more than it used to be, which is needed. A lot of us feel a lot of different things throughout the day.
That's true. And,
in this movie it opens up, maybe your opportunity to look at the people around you and see if you need to update it.
Yeah.
If your boyfriend or fiance or girlfriend or wife or whatever does what the husband does or the fiance does, like, maybe you should weigh your options.
I think it's time to move on.
Yeah. So, and I love that you can, we're not the brightest guys in the world.
We're not.
But we can pick up on it, which is really cool. And we could talk about it to you guys. And maybe, if anybody's struggling out there, reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
If somebody's not treating you well, go talk to somebody that knows you, and then you've kind of picked up on we obviously mentioned the mom trauma. And then you really get into it. Oh, but then do you remember the scene in the bedroom earlier on in the movie?
Where mom's in the bathroom?
Oh, yeah. Dude, there's just so many good, and they called them corny jump scares, which really pisses me off because there's corny jump scares and then there's what happens in this movie.
So that was good because as she's yelling, it cuts into a car horn.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many great things.
Yeah.
And that car horn leads to the train. Like, it works very well. We're not flowing very well, but hey.
But the movie
piecing it together. The movie's way better than us explaining what's going on in the movie.
You should watch it.
You should. It's on.
I watched it on Paramount.
Paramount. Oh, it is on Paramount Plus. Yeah. That is also. Why did I? Where'd you watch it, Jake?
The same thing.
It is a Paramount Plus movie. Then you're in the trauma house, which like in Forrest Gump, you gotta tear that house down. You don't keep that thing around. Then you have the Barbarian 2. There's just something about elongated woman beasts that just make me uncomfy.
We have mentioned a lot of movies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But this is Barbarian and Smile were too close together for them to pick up. But you could say Mama.
Another one now.
You can say Mama because of the creature, the motherly creature. God, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
This is a greatest hits album.
It is.
Of a movie.
Reminds me of those like early 2000s infomercials for like CDs with a bunch of different people. Not like the now hits, but like the crazy ones. Yeah. They talk for like 8 hours about this album. And you have to sit through like 45 minutes of this. Then you get where you're actually seeing. I just hit my nose. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. I just got my nose pierced. This shit hurts. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Eyes gonna start watering.
No, I'm not crying, guys. I'm talking about mom drama. I'm crying. Then you get this whole showdown in the house
with her and before we get to that though.
Oh, sorry.
I guess it leads into that though because it's about her and her mom. Just the trauma she deals with.
Yeah.
Because how she handled that situation.
Yeah.
And I guess she feels torn because she probably regrets handling it that way.
She let her mom die.
Yeah.
You're going to regret that.
Yeah, but
regardless of how terrible of a human she might have been.
Yeah.
That's the most fucked up thing about.
Like, I mean, I suppose.
But think about it. Even from like the very scaled back versions of our lives. Like at the end of the day.
You're right.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, you still like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have called my mom that word.
Yeah.
Or my dad that one time. There's just like, there's so many parallels and comparisons you can make in this movie.
I'm not going to sit there like, I'll watch it back.
Exactly. But she made that decision as a little girl because she knew that she was basically a monster at the time.
Yeah.
And then the demon uses that against her in the house.
So do you think,
it's like, why did you let me die?
Do you think when you have that final encounter with the demon, it takes different, like...
traumas?
Yeah, or like you see it as different people?
Yeah.
For that final showdown?
Yeah.
Also, I saw something that someone said the name of the monster was Lollipop.
I hope not.
Because it goes through your mouth?
Oh. Lollipop. That would have been, if that was at the end of the movie, I would have been like, okay, cool.
It was.
The Lollipop song?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
During the credits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm dumb. Like, do I even, should I even have a podcast at this point? Am I just here for words that make...
Not sure if that's even true or not.
A couple people laugh. I mean, if it makes sense now that we made that discovery. Sometimes I zone out. I can't. I've seen it 4 times. I should know better.
I've only seen it too.
He's the expert right now.
I watched it like this morning. So.
Okay.
That's why I usually the same day. So it's fresh in my mind.
I usually like within 48 hours.
Whew.
Yeah. But sometimes I'll mess up and I'll watch it and then I'll watch like 3 other movies like after that and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You have to put out good content in like 4 days. What are you doing with your life? But yeah, then you get the showdown, right? You get the showdown of the trauma monster alone scenes that are crazy. And her plan isn't bad. Like I said, she assumed that she would be completely alone. And then she has and it comes across as, like I said, if you guys watch Barbarian or Mama, this elongated version of her mother. And that's not the final form.
No, it is not.
Oof. Did not necessarily care for its final form. Also, everything else in this movie, practical CGI or not, was great. Why in the fuck are you going to have her? So the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend shows up, comes in the house, and what he sees is this monstrosity of a beast with like a bunch of eyes, which I think you kind of saw a drawing of it in the guy's place.
Wait, so he actually sees that?
I think he did, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it has to fully possess you for it to pass on to the next person.
Okay.
So it's crawling down her throat.
Which her mouth was stretched out like the thing from Beetlejuice.
Like Miss Pac-Man. Or Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
You know, it's just super elongated.
Oh, but before that, leading up to that, when she thinks she got away.
Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so she thought she survived. She goes to her ex-boyfriend, now about to be boyfriend's house. She's like,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Let me sleep on the couch for a little bit. I just had some wild shit happen. And he's the monster.
Yeah.
Gosh. I would just be defeated. I would just sit there on my knees and let that thing crawl down my throat, too.
And her running out that door and being back at the house again.
I would have done the same thing. Like, you got me.
Yeah, you got me at this point.
Just.
There's realistically no way to defeat this thing.
Nope.
Because even if you take someone else's life, you're in prison forever.
Yep.
So did you really win, per se?
Nope. You're just alive.
Yeah, you're alive. You're not actually living, though.
You'd have to get away with it. But you can't because you have to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
This monster it's one of the smartest demons of any horror film.
It really is.
It is. Because she thinks that she had it planned out because she's letting the monster take her, but she's like burning the house down, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it didn't burn fast enough.
Not fast enough. And then obviously the ex-boyfriend cop comes in the door and sees her burning herself.
He should have turned his eyes.
Yeah.
Covered his eyes.
And
left the house.
You were very upset about it.
Yeah, because that was dumb. You know
everything.
Everything, yeah.
Everything. I don't care how much you love that person. Also, I kind of wouldn't want to see somebody I love burning themselves.
Exactly.
So I would turn pretty quickly anyway.
It ends with you.
Yeah. That's it.
Leave.
Then
we're done.
It would have been done. But nope.
I have a smile too in 2 years.
Jake swears that was purely for sequel purposes.
It has to be.
Which, yeah, probably, because it was a very successful film. But, and then a lot of people, I was reading like some comments and stuff, said that he should have just went ahead and click, powed right then and there.
No.
Because he's a cop with a gun. He could have ended it another way right then and there, which is unaliving himself.
Yeah. No thanks.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But
like if
I
the
would
movie
just
would
be
have
aware
ended
to
with just
leave
like
beforehand.
him just pulling his gun and then you just hear a gunshot.
Yeah, Guts to black and 2 gunshots. Yeah.
Because you can still technically have a 2 if that's what they wanted to do. But it could also just be done.
True.
Like if he somehow messed up.
Some movies don't need sequels, though.
No.
This is one of them.
A lot of movies don't.
Majority don't need sequels, but.
Which is funny because I wanted to share this with you because I thought it was super funny. Somebody posted it on like Instagram, I do believe. And it's a Valentine's Day card. And we're recording it on Valentine's Day. You guys will obviously hear it on Thursday. But it's Michael Myers in a heart, right? Mm-hmm. And it says, "Are you the Halloween timeline? Because you make no fucking sense, but I still love you." That's like the perfect Valentine's Day card.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
I had to add in a little humor for Jake because he loves these corny things.
I do. I saw a Jason Voorhees Valentine's Day card.
What is that?
Just a picture of him instead of him like with a machete and like a bouquet of roses.
Ooh.
And he says, "I will fucking murder you with love."
Yeah. So to anybody out there that's interested in what me and Jake like for Valentine's Day, we just told you.
Yeah. So get it.
There's always next year. Look what me and Jake do on Valentine's Day. We sit together and record an episode. That doesn't tell you where we're at in life. I turned down like 6 plans for this. Like, yeah, I'm totally cool.
I turned down 7 plans for this.
That's awesome. So overall, this movie is a very, 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 very enjoyable experience.
I agree.
There's obviously very scary scenes, very tough things to watch and deal with, but it's a good movie. So with that being said, is there anything else you want to add to our jumbled up episode on Smile?
No, I think that's pretty much it, really.
Cool. So you all know what's next. Our favorite part of the show. Hopefully you guys enjoy this part too. Jake, on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate 2022's Smile?
On a scale from 1 to 10,
There it is.
I would say Smile is a 9.
Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie.
It's a very good movie.
What about you?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to rate this a 9.4. Simply because.
A 9.4?
Simply because
Whew.
I goofed last week and said that Barbarian was a 9.3, and I found out that I enjoy Smile more still.
That makes sense. Okay.
So because of that, honestly, if I was giving the true ratings, I would bump Barbarian back to like an 8.7.
Okay.
And I would put Smile in like a 9.3 realm.
Okay.
I do think it's a little bit better than a 9, but I'm stoked you think it's a 9, especially the type of movies you like. That says a lot for this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you guys, over a year of listening to us talk, you should know that that's crazy good review for this kind of movie from Jake.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was super duper duper fun to go over and discuss. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to cover next week, bud?
Next week,
I might be pissed. I might regret doing this more than you guys.
oh, wow. I really don't even know. Oh, next week, well, here we go. I'm between 2 movies.
Okay.
One, I mentioned as you were talking, Truth or Dare. Yeah.
Okay.
Tough in the face, you never know.
It's a really bad movie, but okay.
We covered worse. Or
very true.
Slaughter High.
Slaughter High.
Yeah.
Okay. Tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen, for Slaughter High.
Okay.
We'll be covering Slaughter High on the podcast. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention all the fun stuff at the beginning with the link in the bio. I was so excited to get into the episode. So if you stuck around to this point in the episode, the first thing I would like to mention is comment down below mommy issues. If you comment down below mommy issues, you will be sent. Sorry, I got distracted by my own sneaker. You will be sent a free sticker with our new logo on it. That's what we are giving out to fans this week. So comment down below mommy issues. Now, to go off of the link tree in the bio that's on our Instagram that Jake so beautifully mentioned earlier, there are 2 additional things that are on our link tree now. The first one being www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com, where you can actually talk to us in an organized manner. So unlike just DMing me on Instagram, where it goes into this magical invisible folder that I have to look for, it'll be emailed directly to my phone, and you guys can put in submissions for episode ideas. You can ask to be on the podcast. You can ask about merch updates. You can see some of the horror news things we come up with or different events we have coming up. We try to keep everything on there. So that way, if you're telling a friend about the podcast, they can just go to our website. It's way easier. You can find how to listen to us on all of that. So it's super cool. Also, you'll see a code on the link tree as well, which will lead you to paranormalitymagazine.com. Paranormality Magazine is obviously a magazine about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We are an affiliate for them. We are trying to help them grow while they try to help us grow. If you use code J2HORROR at checkout, you will get 10% off of your purchase. 10% off of an actually very good. I just got my copy in because I subscribe to it once they hit me up because I want to support them and I want to support us as well. It's a high quality magazine.
It is very high quality.
It is. It's like up there. It's better than the magazines I see at the grocery store. It's very nice paper, very thick. Also, if any of you ladies or gentlemen are interested in horoscopes, they're in there too, which I found out last week is cool. I don't really read them, but I know a lot of people do. So if you want to keep up to date on your horoscopes, your strange and paranormal news, it's all in there. And the next 3 editions will have our ad in it, so you can show your friends, like, yo, this is the podcast I listen to. Look at that cool little picture they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that. Linktree and bio.
It's like horoscopes.
Horoscopes. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep an eye on your
Horoscopes.
Maybe we should create horoscopes.
We should.
Yeah. And then be like, you have impending doom coming up in 2 weeks.
That's it for every single month.
Nobody likes you. There's something following you.
Yeah,
a Pisces. Your feet smell, and you will never find love.
They're all very negative.
Hey, guys. Maybe we'll start, and we'll hit them up and see if they'll do the J-squared horoscopes. As always, big shout out to our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music, Trademark Printing, who's working on doing some printing stuff for us right now so we can have more cool stuff to offer you guys to rock our cool logos that Jeff Balance did. Big shout out to...
It's all full circle.
All full circle. Yeah. Big shout out to Jake for always sitting next to me every week, dealing with my shenanigans and my brain not always working. I appreciate you so much, buddy. Yeah, next week, Slaughter High.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. That's the episode.
Yeah, we're done.
Thank you for tuning into the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week. And remember, it's hip to be squared.